But why would you seek to reach such lofty heights when you know your talent is average, man? You average, bruh. Like, I never saw myself even speaking languages, Japanese. I can speak 5 languages, including my mother tongue, but I want to be a zoologist. Obviously, that ain't happen. I'm seeing you here on YouTube, bumming. This season has been filled with a lot of sleepers, good anime that are gonna be ignored by the most of the populace because they are in the popular vein or they're just being overlooked. And Hidarikiki no Eren, or Eren the Southpaw, is a vastly overlooked anime. It talks about and curates mature themes and really fleshes them out beautifully. Talking about the quintessential adult struggle, identity issues. But one of the major issues I have a problem with is the main character, or one of the two, I should say, Koichi Asakura. This guy and his identity issues, they just bother me to my core because he just walks in insecurity. And that's fine. We all have our insecurities. We all have our weaknesses, our flaws as people. Things that we struggle with before adulthood, and we carry into adulthood, and we have to, fight and battle through. But the way he allows other people to treat him, especially people in a position of power, just unacceptable, man. It's weak. But also, I love how this anime highlights Japanese society and the brutality that is inflicted on people socially, pressure, with abuse of power in the workplace. Because this is a really good depiction of what people go through on a day-to-day basis, especially in the called a salary man and businessman workplace environment. It's terrible. But I love that they're being, honest and earnest with this take. But anyways, let's look at some of the weaknesses that he has and then flesh them out with the conversation talking points. So he is immediately framed as someone who lacks innate talent and knows it. So we go back to his high school days. So they go over three different eras. High school, him during his university time, and then him in the workplace as an adult. And even, you think you're seeing 3 different people. No, he goes through so many changes throughout his time entering the workforce, finding himself a little bit, and just being wailed on professionally. And then we see episode 8, he's finally coming into his own, but it's not a person that I'm comfortable with in the least. But going back to his high school days, like he has aspirations and dreams, and everybody wants to be starry-eyed and support someone through that time. But one thing you have to do is be honest with yourself. Self-assessment is very important. And he's someone who's living here. His head is in the clouds, and he has not come to grips that where his aspirations are and where his talent level, they do not equate in the least. And that's a problem, because if you are aware of that and move as such, then you can chart out a path, be realistic, and not set yourself up for a huge amount of disappointment. But he does the antithesis. He wants to have his cake and eat it too, when the cake ain't made of premium materials, made of Dollar Tree frosting and lack of ingredients. He forgot baking powder, so the cake, it's not gonna rise. He's got a lot of fundamental issues that he's ignoring and just going on into college and into the professional realm with blinders on. And yes, he knows it, but he's living in cognitive dissonance where things are gonna work out. I'm gonna, evolve into Raichu or something. And bro, you Pikachu, and you are stuck on Pikachu, not the one that we see in the series, but a weak-ass version. He's practically vibrating with the need to be recognized, showing fragile pride and insecurity. Yes, he wants to be acknowledged as a genius. The title of the first episode, the person who couldn't become a genius. And that's tough, man. But why would you seek to reach such lofty heights when you know your talent is average, man? You average, bruh. It ain't nothing wrong with being average, bruh. This is a philosophy of mine that, I truly live, breathe, and eat, and tell to others as much as I can. Everybody has a special talent, something that they can excel, they can do and excel at to a high degree. But oftentimes, you gotta discover that, and it may not align with what you initially saw yourself being in. Like, I never saw myself even speaking languages, Japanese. I can speak 5 languages, including my mother tongue, but I wanted to be a zoologist. Obviously, that ain't happen. I'm seeing you here on YouTube, bumming it. But at a point, I had to be honest with myself and say, hey, because you lack in this fundamental category, you cannot reach this place, this paradise that you thought you were gonna, drift into, walk into, be guided towards. No. So that is the fundamental issue that he's dealing with. And yeah, sense of pride that, fragile, but you got to get that pride broken down, boy. His entire identity is built around wanting to become someone, revealing dependence on external validation. So yeah, throughout, when he's confronted with Eren and her talent, that's just going to humble anybody, stepping into the realm of a true genius, or being in their their area, feeling that aura and realizing, damn, I ain't got it. I'm not enough. Being confronted with that so brutally and having it thrown in your face, pretty much. She's rubbing it in your face, and then she's not even the person that really wants it, because she's dealing with her own traumas that have sidetracked her from her career, her calling, and she doesn't know how to get there exactly. She doesn't have all the she has the talent, but she doesn't have like the social skills and other things. But him wanting that validation, from someone, wanting to become someone, and you see that throughout his college, travels as well. He wants to be somebody, wants to be this person. Then, with your average talent, go to a counselor. Go to someone who can get you to be someone in a high sphere, executive level, where you're recognizing talent, you're around that talent, but you don't have the quintessential talent to be in that chair, to be driving the industry at the forefront of it. You need to be in the back, backing the people who have that talent, pushing them, in a managerial role. But it's not something that he's come to grips with. He's still fighting it. He's still struggling with dealing with reality. So and if you're propped up anywhere, if you fall, it's gonna hit your ass hard.
Like, comment, share, and subscribe if you
Thanks for watching. Check me out at Centron Anime, Centron Life, or Centron Laughs, or other social media.